is a KSL5 Eyewitness News HD special report.
Good morning, I'm Kerry Barrett. Following some breaking news for you right now, Texas law enforcement officials are about to hold their final news conference addressing their raid on the FLDS church in El Dorado, Texas. They say they've completed their search of the compound. Of course, it began 1 week ago. Right now, Tila Mange from the Texas Department of Public Safety. All right, we've just been listening to Sheriff Doran in San Angelo and also a Texas Ranger law enforcement officials holding their final news conference for us, of course, addressing the raid on the FLDS compound in San Angelo, Texas. That search began, just to give you kind of a wrap up, about a week ago. It officially ended today. They have removed themselves from the ranch. We also know they removed about 400 kids and about 150 women. They believe there was an imminent risk for abuse. Those women and children are now in 2 locations. They say the raid went off successfully. It was very calm. The residents were calm. They also addressed a little bit as to why it took 4 years for them to make this raid. They said they had no evidence of underage marriage until this initial outcry from the 16-year-old girl we've all been hearing about, the phone call that allegedly came from her. However, at this point, they're still looking to identify her. They say perhaps she could be in custody with the Division of Child Protective Services. They're not sure at this point. We do know, though, that CPS will be having a news conference a little bit later today, perhaps addressing that very issue. We'll be covering that for you. We also heard a little bit about why this investigation and this raid took so long, a week from start to finish, and that's because of some of the specific issues they were dealing with within this culture concerning some of the children perhaps being moved or hidden. So that was something that took a little bit longer as well. So we don't have any idea at this point as to how many people are still in that ranch. They are guessing somewhere between 50 and 60 men and elderly women. John Hollenhorst, of course, has been covering this story for us from San Angelo all week long. He'll be joining us for a live report today on Eyewitness News at noon. Right now, we'll send you back to the Rachel Ray Show.
You're watching KSL5 Eyewitness News HD, First Edition.
Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Scott Hawes.
And I'm Kerry Barrett. It's one of the most sacred and holy places for the FLDS faithful, but now new documents reveal what really goes on inside. Based on what searchers saw in the FLDS church temple in Texas and statements from a confidential informant, investigators say that temple is a place where males over the age of 17 engage in sexual activity with underage girls. When searchers went into the temple last Saturday, they say they saw multiple beds, and one of them that had disturbed bed linens and a strand of hair that appears to be from a girl's head. They also saw several locked safes, locked desk drawers, and multiple computers. In a court hearing yesterday, FLDS lawyers abandoned efforts to stop the search of that polygamous compound, but another search warrant was issued, this time by federal investigators. Well, it is day 3 now of massive cancellations by American Airlines, and they're leading to more frustrating delays. After canceling nearly 1,500 flights over the past 2 days, American Airlines plans to cancel 900 more today as its MD-80 fleet is re-inspected. Out of the 300 planes being looked at, only 60 have been cleared to fly. The airline says 119 are being worked on and 121 are still waiting to be inspected.
What a mess.
Oh, no.
Some unhappy passengers.
No kidding.
Not easy to deal with. All right, 34 degrees right now. Grant Wayman taking a look at the weather.
Box Elder County residents may not be able to vote on the sale of their landfill because of a lawsuit.
It shows a lot of arrogance, I think, and it shows, you know, a big group of high-powered folks that want to shove something down a little community's throat.
Last year, commissioners voted to sell the landfill to the Northern Utah Regional Landfill Authority. That upset residents, so those residents gathered enough signatures to put that issue to a vote in November. But the Landfill Authority blocked that effort with a lawsuit, asking a judge to decide if the sale was an administrative decision. If it was, there won't be a vote. A decision is expected next month. Unused household chemicals are something a lot of people just don't know what to do with. Well, today the Salt Lake Valley Health Department is hoping to make it a little bit easier. All Salt Lake Valley residents can bring their old chemicals to the Sandy Public Works for free disposal. They'll accept paint, fuel, pesticide, batteries, antifreeze, and oil and yard care chemicals. And for the first time ever, they're taking your old prescriptions as well. For a little more information, check out our website, ksl.com.
Oh, it's no secret the race for the White House so far has been a tough road for all of the candidates, but these days two in particular are feeling the pressure.
Our CNN political correspondent Samantha Hayes reports. Meanwhile, Tibet's spiritual leader is on his way to the United States. The Dalai Lama actually arrived in Tokyo earlier today. He was met by a large motorcade and quite a few journalists as well. He'll hold a news conference later today before heading to Seattle, where he'll deliver a speech. Haitian President Rene Preval is calling for tax cuts on imported food, trying to halt a week of rioting. About 5 people have been killed and about 20 injured since these riots started 1 week ago. Prices on food like rice, beans, and fruit have risen 50% in Haiti over the last year, and a lot of these people live on less than $2 a day. Anti-free trade activists gathering in Cuba today. Activists from 23 countries are taking part. Representatives from youth groups, students, professional associations, and women's organizations have traveled to Havana to call for the integration of that region. They're also attempting to keep influence from the United States and the European Union in check. It is 5:12 right now, 30 degrees. We know iPods are popular. Everybody's got one, but could they be doing a little bit more?
Coming up, how they may be helping some find life's deeper meaning.
Texas investigators say the FLDS temple in El Dorado is a place where males over the age of 17 engage in sexual activity with underage girls. This is from a confidential informant, and evidence also found during a search in which they found multiple beds in that temple, one of them with disturbed sheets. They also saw several locked safes, locked desk drawers, and multiple computers. How do Utahns feel about that ordeal in Texas? According to an exclusive Dan Jones poll for KSL TV and the Deseret Morning News, 62% of Utahns believe the raid was justified. 19% believe it was not. 48% believe Utah authorities are not doing enough to prosecute crime in polygamous communities. 37% believe they're doing enough. Huge problem with them. I feel really bad for the airline company.
I mean, it's just
boo-hoo.
Hundreds of flights. It's going to affect a lot of people.
No, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, it's been a horrible month for flying. The only thing that hasn't complicated the issue, Grant, at least here, is the weather.
And a dozen bagels and a couple of cream cheeses.
You are right on the brink there, Grant. I mean, look at that.
I think I'm going to squeak by Sunday.
You could not be closer to losing than you are right now.
Can I not get bonus points for next week? I mean, look at that. Please.
We'll see.
There.
It's negotiable.
Okay.
All right, 5:19. We'll check your traffic. We are looking at I-15 and Parish Lane. Things are moving along smoothly. No accidents and no delays so far. We hope it stays that way for you. Roads are nice and dry, and sounds like they should stay that way for the next week or so. We'll have another traffic check for you coming up in about a half an hour. If you're heading out the door right now, though, check out Always by Atlantic Star, if you're so inclined. It's FM 100. We'll be right back. 5 years ago, the Bush administration predicted Iraq's oil revenue would pay for the reconstruction efforts there. But today, the U.S. is still funding those efforts. Now, some congressional Democrats want to know why America's footing the bill, while Iraq makes billions off of skyrocketing oil prices.
To add insult to injury, in addition to spending tens of billions of U.S. dollars on reconstruction, American taxpayers are also paying $3 to $4 a gallon on gas here at home.
Michigan Senator Carl Levin says Iraq has about $30 billion of oil revenue just sitting in U.S. banks, but Iraqi leaders haven't touched it. Well, those rising oil costs are forcing some Americans to rethink their summer vacations. High gas prices and a lower dollar are prompting some to scrap their overseas trips and instead kick back at the beach here at home. Bookings on one summer beach house rental website are actually up by about 30%. And while those who do head overseas are bargain hunting, booking tour packages and all-inclusive deals. Right now it is 524, 30 degrees. We all know backpacks, if they get too heavy, they're dangerous for your kids' backs. Well, you might want to empty out those backpacks for another reason. We'll tell you why experts say they may be doing them harm.
A family of ducks found themselves in a pretty tight place. The rescue next.